Hello everyone, it's your boy Rome. Today I want to start off with a video app that I've been using for, I would say roughly about a month or two. Previously I was using Final Cut Pro for all of my video editing, whether it was personal or commercial, for client work. After purchasing the iPad Pro, I was looking for something that would give me the flexibility to be able to edit on location as well as speed up my workflow. For those of you who have not experienced it yet and do not own an iPad, let me tell you, I own the MacBook Pro as well as the iMac, and the iPad Pro is probably 5 times faster when it comes to rendering video and getting it out ready for clients to see. So the application that we're going to be looking at today is an application called Lumafusion. And if you do a search on Google or on YouTube, you'll probably find hundreds of videos on this application. One of the reasons why this application is so popular is because it has a lot of the same infrastructure as, I would say, earlier Final Cut Pro or more recent iMovie, but much more advanced than iMovie. So let's take a look at it really quick. So I just jumped instantly right into the work area, but usually when you first open this app, you will go into the startup screen where you will either be able to create a new project or open an existing project. So if you're going to create a new project, this little window would pop up and you would just name it whatever you'd want to name it, and then here you would choose your frame rate, which is very important. So if you're shooting at 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second, it's important that you choose the right frame rate for your video so that you will have a really smooth playback. Now, with that said, let's say you are shooting at 60 frames a second, but you plan on doing some slow motion, then you may want to go with a lower frame rate, meaning say if you're shooting 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, 240 frames per second, but you want your output to be 24, that's not a problem. You can still set that at 24 frames a second. Now your aspect ratio, which is your frame aspect ratio, depends on how wide the video is going to display. So if you are looking at a video on YouTube or on your television, you're looking at 16:9. If you're uploading video to Instagram and sometime to Facebook, you'll be looking at 9:16. Now another popular aspect ratio for Instagram is also 4:5. But for today's demonstration, we're going to keep it at 16:9. So here you would just click add, and it would open this up as a blank workspace. So there's nothing else here. There's no video. There's nothing here on the timeline. This is your timeline here. This is your screen where you would view. Over here you can see where your audio would come into play. And this area here is where you would pull in your media from. So whether it be photos, video, whatever it is, it would come from here. So you would have all photos and video. If you're going to just break it down to just video, moments, that's things that you would save in your iPhoto. If you have albums set up, if you have shared folders, things that you've recently added, you'll be able to find all of that here. And then if you go here, now you can look at the file system that you would normally see on an Apple device, meaning you could click here and you could go all the way over and see all of your files, meaning from the iPad, if you're connected to Dropbox, iCloud, Google Drive, or even an external drive. If you had to connect it, it would show up right here as an external drive and you'd be able to access that drive. So like I said, also you can see right here, you have Dropbox right here, you have Google Drive, you have wireless networks. If you have something like that set up on a server, you can connect it to the wireless network. You have OneDrive, which is Windows, I believe, and you can edit this where you can take things out that you don't use. Like I don't use OneDrive, so I'll take OneDrive out. I don't use the wireless network, so I'll take that out. And this one here I also don't use, so I would take that out. And then I'm good here. I have files, Dropbox, and Google Drive, which are the ones I most frequently use other than when I'm using an external hard drive. So that's the basics of the layout. So we're going to go into right now really quick and look at a project that I already got started on, which is this one. Now this project has the intro for my videos and the outro here. So let's say I wanted to bring some footage in, and what I have here in the beginning of the intro is a blank, and that just gives me space to drop in footage in the beginning of the video before my intro. And then here is another blank where I could drop in the main portion of the footage that would be a part of my project. And then following that would be the outro. So let's start with the intro. So if we go here to Files, click on Files, and I've already downloaded video. Well, this is a video that I actually uploaded recently, but I know it's here, so we're just going to go look at that. And it should be under raw video, and that's this one here. So it should bring that right in, and then I can just tap on it, and it's going to display here in this window. So from here, I can scrub through, and this is 4K footage, guys. 60 frames a second, 4K, and you see how fast this is scrubbing through with no problem whatsoever. So if I wanted to pick a point, let's just say, let's play a little bit of this. All right, guys. So I've had this bike for, I believe, over almost 2 years now. And people have been asking me repeatedly to show them some of the upgrades that came with it. So let's just say that's where I want to, start that part of the footage. So I could just click right here to my out. So I have an in point, which is here. I have an out point, which is here. And then I could either just drag it down to my timeline, or I could just hit this little button here, and it will drop it down onto the timeline. Now what that did was it put it in front of the blank. So since I don't need that blank anymore, I could just take it out, and then this video would go right into the intro. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so we can see what's going on here. So if you look at it from here, it goes right into the intro and then right to the next blank, right? So I'm going to expand that back out. Now what's cool, since I took that part, so now I can go here to wherever I was last, and I can pull this over to here, and then I can expand this portion of the video all the way out. Let's say it's about there. Now what I want to do is I want to drop this video right here where this blank is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to drop it right on top of the blank. So it's going to ask me, do I want to keep the time duration of the blank, or do I want to use the new clip duration from the video? Well, obviously I want to use the clip duration, so I would hit clip duration, and it'll just drop it right in. So now it'll come in from here, and I'm going to shrink this down again so we can see what's going on. Still a little bit big, so let's bring it all in. And you can see there. So now we have the first part of the footage, the part that I just added here, and then our outro. So you have a number of different features that you can utilize once you get your footage into the application itself. So let's say we're going to start off with the first part of the video, which is here. So you would double tap on this, and it will open up into the editing portion of the app. So maybe one of the first things you want to do is, adjust your color. So if you click here, let's go back. If you click here where you see the button where I'm pressing down here, this will take you to some of the presets. So we're going to just start with original. So what I want to do here is I want to lower the brightness just a touch because there's so much light coming in from outside of the garage. And then maybe I want to open up the contrast just a bit. and then still keep some of the saturation so I don't lose a lot of the saturation. And maybe try to open up the shadows a touch, see what that looks like. Maybe about there, that should be good. And then from here, you can play this. So from here, you could either scrub through, or you could hit play and it will play. And you can see,
I believe, over almost 2 years now.
And you can see what the editing has done. So let's just say you have multiple clips like this that you've done this editing, editing to, and you've done your adjustments, and you want to now copy this to all of your other clips. Remember, this video today, guys, is going to be the very, very basics. I will be doing other videos that goes into much more detail, like how to use LUTs, which are lookup tables, how to do custom things there. So like we, apply a LUT that's going to give it, just think about LUTs like filters from Instagram or something like that. Then you have so many other features here. You can do keyframing. You can do special effects. If you wanted to do some type of special effects here, you can do all kind of, really cool things like that. But today we're not going to be getting into that. We're going to stick to the basics. So let's go from here. What we're going to do is we're going to come down to this little clipboard and we're going to go copy. And then we're going to go back out. We're going to go over to our other footage. We're going to just click on it one time, hit the little clipboard and hit paste. So what that should have done is adjusted the lighting and saturation to this clip from the previous clip. Now, many applications can do this, so this is not something that's really that new, but being able to edit 4K footage really, really efficiently, maintaining a very quick workflow, this is a win-win no matter how you look at it. So let's just click here. Then on this side, it's pretty stock. This. So as you see here, I can just whiz right through this, no problem, no problem. And then let's say we wanted to add, some audio or something like that. It's very simple to do. I have an audio track that I did in GarageBand. If you guys are interested in learning about GarageBand, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to put something together. So this is just a simple audio. Now this is probably going to come in a little hot, but I'll adjust it here in a second.
I've had this bike for, I believe, over almost 2 years now.
So now
and people have been asking me repeatedly.
Now I'll show you really quick one more thing before we close this video out. You have your main video that has an audio track. And now you just added a second audio track. One of the cool things that you can do here in Lumafusion is that you can go into your audio and you can tell Lumafusion that the audio on that main track is the master. And then just make that selection, come back out, go to the second audio clip, double tap on it, go into configuration, and just leave it at auto. So what will happen is when you start speaking, it will drop this track down low. So let's just move this down here, maybe to the middle, and we'll let myself start speaking before the audio kicks in.
All right, guys. So I've had this bike for, I believe, over almost 2 years now.
You can still adjust that up some if you decide it's just too low.
Me repeatedly to show them some of the upgrades that.
Yep, not bad. So again, guys, I just wanted to show you a really basic approach to using this type of application. This app is exclusively for iOS. So if you have an iOS device, whether it's an iPhone or an iPad, it doesn't have to be an iPad Pro. It could be an older unit. You can go and find this application and throw it onto your device, and you can start editing video, whether it's GoPro footage from your phone, from your DSLR, as well as your mirrorless camera, any device that you produce video from, you can use this app to edit it, including, you can also edit 360 video within this app. Search for Lumafusion. Let's see how much Lumafusion is right now. But let's just say we go in and do a quick search for Lumafusion. And there it is, Lumafusion. And since I already purchased it, it doesn't show. But I think it was like $29 or something like that, you know, for the whole application, where Final Cut Pro is over $300, you know, to give you guys an example of the difference in what you're paying for. So, you know, if you're looking for a really, really good app, yeah, it does cost a little bit, but it gives you all of the professional features, and they're constantly adding features. Just since I've had this app alone, I've seen 2 upgrades since I've owned the app on this iPad. All right, guys. So I will catch you guys in the next video. In the next video, I think I will be doing something on the GoPro app and showing you how to import footage to your GoPro app and do some similar things like adding audio, using different filters, different transitions, and how you can increase or decrease the length of the video depending on what you're going to be outputting it for. But until then, guys, it's your boy Rome, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.